Pete Hegseth here, Fox and Friends Weekend Go-host. Pete, good morning to you.
Good morning.
A military man yourself. What do you make of this, if you can make sense
You can't make sense of it. So this broke over the weekend on Fox and Friends as we're trying to put this together. And at first we thought, okay, this must have been an elective surgery gone wrong, which means they made a snap judgment in the moment to not notify anybody. But that new information this morning is what's so significant. No. This was an elective surgery on December 22nd. Then there were 9 days apparently of pain, and then he elected to go back into the ICU, which means this was intentional. Everyone around the secretary had an opportunity to think about what those steps should be. Who do we notify? What's the protocol? You know what I mean? You can give some grace if it happens like this and you weren't quite sure and you don't want the public to know, but you notify. They didn't tell anybody. So the question is, did nobody miss Austin?
Right.
That's one question. So no one's looking for the defense secretary? And then the second question is, no one felt like we had to tell Joe? The commander-in-chief, and the commander-in-chief's not looking for Austin? And then the timeline on that strike. We talked about this a little bit before the cameras came on. That strike in Baghdad that killed the Iranian leader was at noon local time on January 4th.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
All right, so Baghdad's what, 7 hours ahead of New York?
Yep, Jackie mentioned it. Corresponds to 4 a.m. D.C. time, which means Joe hadn't been notified of the fact that Secretary Austin was out of commission. So who's making that call?
So
is it the second in command in Puerto Rico on vacation on a secure Zoom? What a disaster.
Who's making that call?
Who made that call?
It's so baffling.
I mean, that's a possible massive escalation. You kill an Iranian leader in Baghdad?
I would just add to that is that you think about the criticism that has been leveled against the Department of Defense and this administration for not hitting Iran back.
Yeah.
You know, after Eastern Syria and Western Iraq, week after week and month after month. And then he's in the hospital. She has authority over decisions. Did she pull the trigger without his knowledge? And was that her opportunity?
And if she did pull the trigger, did she not have to notify the White House, Jake Sullivan, or Joe Biden?
Right.
You've been inside that. There are protocols on things like this of significance.
Completely baffling to me, and also that the president and the Secretary of Defense wouldn't want to talk on that day before the strike to let them know that everything was on board. Michael Waltz, I think you had this over the weekend, he tweeted this, that on January 4th, the U.S. launched a rare drone strike in Iraq, killing Qasem al-Jawahiri, It was the first known targeted killing of a high-level Iranian-backed militia leader since the Hamas attacks of October 7th. How was this authorized with the SecDef and hospital and the White House unaware? Okay, so that's some questions that are going to have to be answered. I understand calls, like for example, former President Trump says Secretary Austin should be fired. I understand that call because what a breach of protocol. But here's the thing. If the White House doesn't care about the breach of protocol and says, oh, cool, everything's fine, what does that say?
Well, exactly. But we've seen this kind of lack of accountability before, Dana. I mean, look at Afghanistan. So you've got an abject failure in Afghanistan. The White House spins as a win and keeps Austin where he is. Secretary Austin was AWOL. He was AWOL, just like a rifleman in my platoon. If he didn't show up to work for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and no one was notified, if you're getting fired, demoted, lack of pay, whatever it is. Our Secretary of Defense is AWOL. No one knew about it. Our president didn't know about it. That's a scandal, and the White House is going to have to do something about it.
So last Thursday in Baghdad at noontime, there is an Iraqi militia member backed by Iran traveling in a vehicle in Baghdad with another individual, and we take the strike. And we have not done that in how long? Half a year?
Qasem Soleimani is the most high-profile example
So my question to you as a military man is that, did they follow chain of command? And did they say, this is our time to strike? Because we are overly frustrated with a lack of response against Iran.
Great question.
That's a great question.
It matters what the rules of engagement were. What does that theater commander have as far as a prerogative of a strike list? Okay, these are people that are known terrorists that we want to kill, and if you get the opportunity to kill them, go. You want to have that kind of prerogative for commanders. That could be the case. But with the tinderbox after October 7th and the escalating attacks on our troops over 150 or something in the Middle East since October 7th, every strike like this has geopolitical implications.
Right. And the president hasn't
think it would have to be elevated.
The president hasn't hosted a cabinet meeting since October 2nd. Okay, so they never even got together after October 7th to say, is everybody on the same page here? How are we going to support the Israelis? What are we doing?
Which leads you to believe, what is Austin really doing? Has he been how long has he been a figurehead?
Well, he's not providing a lot of air cover for the next person we're going to talk about, and that's the Secretary of State.
Lincoln's running around the Middle East meeting with everybody, and turns out Austin is beep, beep. I mean, and nobody knew.
And of course, we wish him well, but it's just, it's mind-blowing.
But
Thank you.
as citizens, we deserve
It's great
better.
to see
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.